Namaste. This is the 20th teaching class relating to the benefits of astrology and numerology. Hi, I'm Timothy Doyle. I'm a student of the Golden Ones. The Golden Ones are the co-creator gods, administrators of this Earth spiritual training school. We want to talk today about astrology. Astrology is a tool to give the soul a blueprint of their qualities, their abilities, their talents, prior achievements, and future challenges. It's something, astrology is based on the position of the constellations, which the constellations are a group of stars, and the sun, the moon, the planets, at the time of birth of the soul. So wherever the person is born around the world, longitude and latitude, the date, the time of birth, and where the constellation and the planets are in that position determines the report for the person, for the soul. Now, there are 12, in astrology, there are 12 houses. And each house affects the life experiences of the soul. For example, the first house is the personality. The second, let me go through the list here. Second house is finances. Third is communications. Fourth is family. Fifth is romance. Sixth is service. Seventh is relationship and romances. Eighth is birth, death, sex. Ninth is travel. 10th is career. 11th is souls, social activities. And 12th is secrets. Now, where the planets land, the planets now, in these houses determines, each of these planets have a characteristics. For example, the fifth house is romance. So whatever planet lands in that fifth house, because the planets have characteristics. For example, let's go through and let's talk about the planets. Give me a second here. My goodness gracious. Let's go, for example, of Mercury is the planet of communications. So if Mercury falls in your first house, that means that your first house is your personality. You're pretty good at communicating with other people. If you have Mercury in your 10th house, which is your career, then you're very good in, maybe you'd be a salesperson or something like that. You're very good in communicating your concepts, your ideas, and so forth for your career. So it's worth your while to understand your astrology report and maybe the astrology report of your children. The constellations also have a characteristics. For example, I am a Virgo. That's my sun sign, and which is a constellation. And Virgos are pretty good at being perfect or attempting to be perfect in what they do, and so forth. So the characteristics of the constellation and the characteristics of the planets and how they land in your 12 houses determines how you're going to have life experiences, how you're going to express yourself, what your qualities are, and what your challenges are. Now, the important thing I like that I find very interesting, I started in astrology about 30 years ago. I have 4 boys, and I started looking into astrology to see how astrology affects my children. And I noticed that each of them were in a different sign, a different constellation, different planets, and they each had unique characteristics. So it made me more aware of not treating them uh, treating them as individuals instead of treating them as just boys. Um, the greatest benefit of these astrology and numerology report is in the comparisons between two souls. Um, for example, if you're in a relationship or you're planning on being in a relationship, the astrology and numerology compatibility reports will point out where you are compatible and if it's going to be a long-term relationship or if there's conflict down the road and the relationship will not last. It'll just tell you that it may be great in the beginning, but it won't last. And I've done these reports for the past 30 years professionally all over the country, all over the world, I should say, and extremely accurate reports, extremely accurate. I use them I'm here in China, and I teach English to my Chinese students, ages 5 through 15, and I use these reports to see how I can assist the Chinese students in their communications with me. I make sure that we're compatible in our communication so I can convey the English teachings to them. So I use it here for my children in China. I would say that if you are going to be thinking about a committed relationship, I would not hesitate to get the astrology, numerology, compatibility reports. It will tell you if something's hidden that will show up months from now or maybe years from now, and it will save you a lot of time in going through the time in finances in investing in a relationship that's not going to go anyplace. Numerology is based on the soul's birthday, year, month, and day, and the name. Your name at birth, your official name on your birth certificate. Then what happens is that name is converted to a numeric character, A being a 1, B being a 2, C being a 3, and so forth. And then it comes up with a number, and it will, when you get the astrology compatibility report and the numerology compatibility report, even though they're both based on different criteria, you'll see how the reports somehow complement one another. They just complement one another. The other value of astrology reports, it will empower and completely give you a comprehension of who you are as a person. And it will do it for your spouse and your children. So it gives you an insight to who you are and your qualities. I also use these reports to empower my Chinese students, to tell them the qualities they have and how powerful they are, or their characteristics. A lot of times, most of the times, we do not compliment our children. We do not encourage them. We do not tell them how great they are in one area and so forth. But these reports, if you get them for your children, you can use it to empower your children and to reinforce. They probably know they're pretty good in some areas, but these reports will also point out to them to encourage them and to support who they believe they are. Like I said, if you're planning on going into business with someone, going into marriage, going into a professional relationship, if you want to see your relationship with your best friend, to see if you are really best friends, or if you can trust one another. These reports are just, what they do is they'll just reinforce what you know, or they'll enlighten you of what you think you know and what you don't know. All right. So these reports on my website, like I said, I've been doing them for over 30 years for people all over the world. And I use them for my own family and my relationship. And on the website, you can get these reports any place on the website. The reports on my website, they're very detailed reports, very accurate. The numerology report is probably, I think, about 40 to 50 pages. The astrology report is between 15 and 20 pages, very accurate, and especially they're only as accurate as the information provided. So the best thing to do is to get your exact time of birth, regardless of whether you order the reports here or someplace else. It's best to have your exact time of birth, because the reason being is the moon changes every 2.5 days. So if your moon is off, if you get an estimated time and the moon is off, then your reports are not going to be very valid. So it's best to make sure you get the exact time of birth. And what happens is, in a comparison report, if one set of planets are not in alignment with another set of planets, then it's going to cause friction. And the friction may show up later on in your relationship. Same thing in the numerology report. There's 4 essential areas. There's the life path, your expression, your heart's desire, and your personality. So if there's any conflict in either one of those 4 or all 4, it's not a good relationship. But if there's a conflict within any one of them, the reports will point out what you have to do if you want to maintain a harmonious relationships. So with that in mind, like I said, the reports, the price of the reports here on my website is moderately priced for the amount of work that needs to be done. These are computerized reports. I don't do them by hand. They're computerized reports, but it still takes a little time to generate the reports and to set them up and mail them out. So with that in mind, where you get the reports, you should invest in an astrology report for yourself. And if you're going into a relationship, it's best to invest into a report, compatibility report, to make sure that what you believe to be compatible is compatible. So with that in mind, we're going to close this video out and say namaste, much love and peace, harmony, balance, order, and unity to everyone. You all have a great day. Much love to all. Bye-bye. See all the teachings and videos of the Golden Ones at www.thepathtowoneness.com. Also, see the teachings on the Golden Age, where souls can learn how to overcome the birth, death, and rebirth cycle. Also, see all the videos of the Golden Ones on the YouTube channel, Timothy Doyle, The Golden Ones. And visit us on Facebook and link it at The Path to Oneness.